First of all, I want to just tell you what a privilege it is to be here with you tonight, but how sorry I am that it's under these circumstances. 18 years ago, my family experienced the deaths of children just like you did. We lost my grandchildren, Chase and Colton Smith, in the Oklahoma City bombing. And tonight my daughter Edie is here. Edie, would you stand up, their mother? And this is my new granddaughter, MJ, and my husband, Tom. I watched as the Moore tornado unfolded live on my TV screen in Little Rock, Arkansas. My husband can attest to the fact that when I heard about the deaths of the children, that I crumbled, I mourned, I knew what you were going through, and I prayed for God's comfort, and I wanted to be here with you, and I knew that at some point in time that I would. Those of us that have lost children, we share a special bond that we don't share with anyone else, because we know what's in our hearts. As our tears subside and we begin to look more normal to the rest of the world, we realize the aching in our hearts. We've been scarred. You know, if we'd lost an arm or a leg, you could see our struggle to go on with our new life. And you'd see our disability the rest of our lives. But with the death of a child, you don't see that, but yet your heart's been ripped out. And you mourn, and you have that emptiness inside. When I watched my grandchildren's grave, casket being lowered into their grave, my belief system was challenged. There was a time, and I'm sure God understood it, but it's like, how could a good and a loving God allow this to happen to me? I had prayed for those little boys. I expected them to grow up to be fine young men and to be with me throughout my life, just like you did with your children. Then at night when I turned on the TV and I would see the families of the surviving children give these wonderful testimonies about the miracle, about how God had saved their child. One man got on TV and he didn't do anything wrong. He did the very thing I would have been doing had my child lived. But he said, you know, I just prayed and asked God for a little boy to hold, and God answered my prayer, and here he is. And I'm thinking, God, what about me? Didn't you hear my prayer? I wanted to die. I thought about killing myself because I didn't want to live in that kind of pain. But I couldn't do that to my daughter and to my family. Then I prayed to die. And that was just one more prayer that God didn't seem to answer for me at the time. But you know, as the weeks and the months progressed, I realized I couldn't make it through without God. I don't know why this happened, but I needed Him. And I came to the realization that I don't believe God's a cherry picker. He doesn't stand up in heaven and look down, and when a catastrophic event happens, He doesn't say, well, I think I'm going to save this one, and this one, and this one, and I'm going to let these perish. I just don't believe God does that. I think storms and floods and hurricanes and even bombings are just part of our stay here on earth. Things happen. Things happen that we don't understand. But my life began to turn around when I realized that God didn't take my grandchildren. He simply received them when they came. And when I realized He received them, I could pray again. And I realized, you know, we're here but just a short time. Our lives are just a vapor. And it won't be long before we'll be standing at the throne of God, and we'll be reunited with our children. And that brought me hope. That brought me peace. I also began to pray differently. Prior to the bombing, I'd get up every morning and I prayed. I'd give God my honey-do list. You know, God, this is what I need from you today. You know, bless me, open this door, do this, do that for me. Most of my prayers were to make my life more comfortable. Every now and then I'd throw in a little act of benevolence in there. But I've quit praying to God like he's my genie in the bottle. Now when I wake up in the morning, I just pray, God, show me. Show me what you would have me to do. And help me love your people, Lord, which sometimes for me isn't always easy. Not long ago I had a thought. I thought, what would Jesus do if he was to come to earth for a day and he became me? And Jesus was me for a day, and I thought, I'm a logical thinker. So I thought, well, I guess he'd paint. I'm an artist. And that's what brought me here tonight. And I want you to know that your children will not be forgotten. As they sat on my easel, and I brought their little face to life, and I looked into their eyes, I talked with them, I spoke to them, I got to know them. Their images are burned onto my retina, and I'll remember them till the day I die. I feel like they're a part of me.